You're welcome. Is there anyone else who is in favor of the food ordinance? Seeing none, I'm going to, yes. Sir.
Could I ask, Leslie, what was your last name?
North.
Norris?
North.
N-O-R-T-H. Like the direction. North, yeah, Rockwood's north of here.
Yeah.
Like that. So with this ordinance, what is different about this ordinance that is under current state law? What changes? What does this ordinance change that isn't already in place?
The ordinance makes a difference because I went to extreme measures in order to get a cottage license. And in order to do that, I had to go down to Stallion, I had to go down to Augusta, I had to go get my sewers inspected, I had to have my water tested. It tested positive, so I had to have a new system installed so that it could be tested again and pass. There's just a lot of bureaucracy that's involved in getting a cottage license. And while it allows you to sell at farmers markets in Greenville, which is about half an hour away from us, it doesn't allow my friends and colleagues that are in the neighborhood to be able to sell their eggs or sell their vegetables or sell their bread because they don't have the ability to go down and do all the things that I did. They don't have the money, they don't have the transportation, and this allows those people to sell to their neighbors and set up a small market where they can exchange food, exchange items that they baked or that they raised. And there's precedence for this. This already exists in numerous areas and numerous towns. Moose River, which is just north of us, has this ordinance in place. So the precedent exists. We're just asking for this to be extended to Rockwood, and I think it makes sense rather than you having to do this every time one of the unorganized territories makes the decision that they want to do this, for you to go through this again.
So because you're in the unorganized territory, you're subject to more of this bureaucracy than people that are not, because, my impression is, at the state level, we passed food sovereignty years ago, and it's actually gotten better and better as time has gone on. So in Canaan, where I live, my understanding is I haven't heard anything have to go through what you just said that you've had.
So, Commissioner, if I may, the Food Sovereignty Act that was passed in 2017 does not grant these freedoms to everyone. It allows towns and counties to enact ordinances.
They opt in.
So it's an opt-in program, which is what they are asking to do for the UT.
Perfect.
And Canaan has their own food sovereignty ordinance already in place.
Perfect. That answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
All set? Thank you. And Don Skillings has a question. Commissioner, you're muted.
You're muted.
Now you're muted. I can't hear you.
Left his microphone home.
Yeah. He's going to try something else, I think. You're
Still muted.
He's
still
good.
muted.
He's good.
Yeah, okay, but he's good. All right. Is there any other people who are here to speak for the ordinance? Is there anyone here to speak against the ordinance? Yes.
Sophie Turner, who is one of the people that has been working with me on this and has been communicating with several of you. Unfortunately, her mother had a stroke and is in the hospital, so she was unable to attend. She was actually planning on being there. And she, of course, I can't speak for her officially, but she clearly would have been here to speak favorably if she had been able to.
Thank you. Is there anybody who wants to speak for the ordinance? Is there anyone here who wants to speak against the ordinance? Is there anyone here who wants to speak neither for nor against the ordinance?
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
The only question I had for Leslie was, if I think a 10 Coolidge farm came on Route 150 out there in Cornville, would they need a license for, like, would a farm stand in Rockwood need a license if they just open a farm stand on the street and sold cucumbers or tomatoes or do you need a license to do that?
My understanding is that you do. And so, I mean, I'm not an attorney, I'm nobody, that would have that information, but we've done extensive research into this, between Kelsey and I. And from what we can read, what we can see, technically, we could be violating the law because we don't have that potter's license, we don't have a license to sell, so we technically, legally need it, which is why we're looking to the cottage. I mean, the food sovereignty.
Thank you for the clarification.
So to the commissioner's question, again, both Athens and Cornville already have established food sovereignty ordinances. So a farm stand is operating underneath that ordinance.
And they're not part of the UT, which is what this is applying to.
Right.
Skowhegan does not have
They do not have an ordinance.
and they have a very active
Farm market.
farmers market.
Yes.
And do they have licenses?
Perhaps your next visit to the Skowhegan Select Board, you
They,
bring that up.
they need to opt in.
Well, I don't know. It seems to me that a lot of people just would never even think of getting a license for maybe they're.
I can speak to that. I actually I am at the food market in Greenville, which is not in Somerset County. It's in Scottsdale.
Right.
And in order to exhibit there, I have to produce my my cottage license and my license to sell. So two different licenses I have to be able to show up in order to sell that farmer's market. So I assume it's the same as Cali.
And I've been told, I actually don't make a lot of this, but I do make homemade cheese out of raw milk. And I've been told that because my cheese process does not heat it up enough, I'm not allowed to, you can't sell that. Would this food ordinance permit me to sell my otherwise illegal cheese made out of raw milk? I have no idea.
Only if you sneak across the border into the UT.
I had some reservations about this because I thought it was sort of a solution in search of a problem, but having found out that Cornville has a similar ordinance,
This is an opt-in. Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
Thank you. Has there been anybody I've missed? Anybody who wishes to speak? Seeing that there are no more people interested in speaking in one regard to the food sovereignty ordinance, I'll declare this public hearing closed. And now, right now is the moment for public comment that will allow members of the public to comment or reserve time to speak on an upcoming agenda item.
I will mention that we have quite a few guests here today. We have members of the Land Use Planning Commission that will be doing a presentation shortly, and Commissioner Andre Cushing is here from Waukesha County. I don't know if any wanted to save time for later on.
And Mr. Chairman, I know our Ms. North from Rockwood is still online. I don't know. We can't vote on this now. We're going to vote on it later.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're going to vote in favor. I didn't want to have her, unless she wants to stay on her Zoom call for the next hour. I thought we should either take action on the food sovereignty ordinance or. Can we switch that around?
Well, you want to make a motion to move the agenda?
Yeah, I make a motion to move the agenda to deal with resolution 2661 right now.
And all in favor? Okay, we're good. So right now we will take resolution 2661 to approve a food sovereignty ordinance for Somerset unorganized territory.
Second.
Discussion amongst the commissioners? Being none, all in favor? And Ron, thank you. Oh, 5-0. It passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing what you do, Leslie.
Thank you very much. And so we are at the public comment. Is there anybody who wants to reserve to speak? We have a guest speaker at the moment.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm Rick Fishing. I, as we know, serve as Commissioner of Gloucester County and also in my role as President of the Maine County Commissioners doing my annual visits. And appreciate you giving me a few minutes. We've gone through a legislative session, which some people in this room have been painfully involved in. The legislature seems to be more aware of the value that county jails play in our state criminal justice system. We made some good inroads. Kudos to Tim and to Solomon Millett and several other key people who came down regularly to present before the Criminal Justice Public Safety Committee. They determined that we did need additional funding. Currently, the state provides $20,400,000 to county jails and have done so since 2001. As you have, I'm sure, been aware, the cost of running our county jails has increased in the last 5 years. The legislature for the last 5 years does not seem fit to increase that share. So we started on a track this year of educating them that, like public education, there's a percentage of responsibility the state should use taxpayer dollars for. We are focusing on 20% of jail costs. This year, jails will run, in total, the 15 jails, approximately $139 million. So at $20.4 million, we're only getting about 15%, just under 15%. So to get to 20% would take us to approximately $30 million a year. The Jail Standards Council did a study that was commissioned by the legislature that determined this is what the costs and the factors are in the criminal justice system. Many of these costs we cannot contain because of the nature of the people we hold and how long we have to hold them, and the fact that there are other state entities that control when they move through the jail system. The courts, sometimes mental health, many times the Department of Corrections. So we are seeking in the off session further discussions with the speaker and other key members who will work with us on this message to take back in the 133rd. We hope to have some additional legislation that will reinforce what was passed by the committee but was stripped off in the appropriations process. I'm grateful to everyone who participated. I'm very thankful for the awareness that many legislators provided. There are still a few folks that don't see it as an appropriate use of money, but candidly, the only other place we have to go is the property taxpayer. And for many counties, because of the volume of inmates that they process and the costs associated with it, you very quickly reach the jail cap. And when your budget exceeds that, you're finding a need to use alternate funds. There are at least 5 counties that have dipped into their fund balance and or reserves, and it's really created a very serious condition. There are certainly other things we'll be looking at. We have a task force that will work with the sheriffs to review item 30A, which covers county operations, and make recommended changes in the next session of the legislature. So stay tuned. We will make sure by convention that folks have copies of that information. County Day on Friday was also our first foray back into the State House. Unfortunately, the legislature was out, but we had very good representation. Somerset, thank you for allowing some of your people to come down. I believe your 911 director and emergency management came down and we're at the tables hosting the event. So
And a register of deeds was there as well.
thank you. Yes, that's correct. Deeds, TMA, UT, we had a number of tables and great to have folks there. Convention this year will be in September. It is the 22nd through the 25th. It will be in at Sunday River in Oxford County. I was just over last week for the sheriff's meeting, and it's a very nice facility. Will meet our needs well. So we're looking forward to that, and certainly would welcome good contingent from Somerset County to join us for that event. We had a successful convention last year and hope to build on that for this year's event. And then finally, there are some other activities that we'll be working on this year with hopefully Maine and some other groups to study mandates that the state imposes on counties and municipal government that they oddly enough fail to fund, even though statute requires that they're supposed to do that. So I'd be happy to try and answer any questions, and I thank you again for what you all do and for the opportunity to be with you today.
Do you know the final status of LD 2232?
2232 was amended to give the counties $4 million in jail funding, but the language related to the $30 million benchmark and adjustment with the CPI was stripped from that bill, and it has gone forward without that language. But the work was not in vain. There are people now aware of it. When we were in the hall, most legislators say, oh yeah, we know there's a problem.
I understood it passed both the House and the Senate. Yep.
It passed the House, was engrossed and enacted by the House with very strong 2/3 votes. I think it was 100, at least 117 to 19 in a couple of the votes. But on the appropriations table, there were some current compromises made to strip any language that would create additional funding requirements in the future. So we were not successful in getting that amended language through. But $4 million will allow us to remain at the same level of funding that we got last year. So $24.4 million. And 21-24, which would have attacked the transfer tax portion that counties get, was amended to draw those funds from the state share rather than the minimal amount of money that counties are given for the work they do. So we're still at 9.2% of transfer taxes that remain with county government. I think that pretty much covers the bigger nuts.
Yeah.
How they do.
Great.
Okay.
You did very well. Thank you.
I'm grateful also that we have a good administrator, that your administrator has been a very helpful sounding board on some issues as he figures out this strange animal called county government. So with that, I thank you. I do have another commitment, so I can't stay for your full meeting, but I'm in great confidence that Somerset is in good hands.
Well, thank you for coming and joining us,
Thank
even
you.
for this brief moment.
Yeah, well, and thank you for your dedication as my vice president. We have a good board this year, and Robert has been a very diligent and attentive board member, not only at the state level, but he also represents us at NACO as one of our two board members, and he has been very conscientious about going and being a full participant. He is, I think, brought home some very worthwhile information. Plus, really good bling, as you can see. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for public comment? Being none, we will move on to the workshop and with a presentation from Land Use Planning Commission. There's a microphone right there you can share.
I have a great loud voice, so I don't usually need one, but
Good afternoon.
They can't hear you, Florida.
Can't.
You only can see.
Oh.
Oh,
I can tell by the tree. It looks like the one that I thought.
well,
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Stacy Benjamin. I'm the acting planning manager with the Maine Land Use Planning Commission, and with me today is Ben Gotso.
I'm the acting executive director. It's nice to see
Us. And also with us today are Gwen Hilton, the commissioner appointed by Somerset County to serve on the Land Use Planning Commission, and also Heidi Gaffney, who is our senior regional staff person that serves out of the Moosehead region. You may be aware we had a fire in that office building a couple years ago, and so that office is temporarily housed in Dover Fox.
I did hand out these to our commissioners. Your state of Maine unorganized territory brochure.
That was produced by Chip Jones, the fiscal auditor for the UT, out of the state auditor's office. But he and I are collaborating on information like that. We're getting ready to publish a table with similar information. So,
Excellent.
I'm glad he was passing those out. I heard he was doing that on Friday.
Yeah, and I have more here for anybody else who's interested in having one of these brochures.
Great. So thank you again for the time today. We're here to give you some updates on Land Use Planning Commission activities. As part of our comprehensive land use plan update process, several months ago, some of our commissioners suggested that it might be a good idea to go around and meet with the county commissioners to provide an update on the comprehensive land use plan and some other regulatory updates and find out if they have issues or questions for us. So we've met with 4 county commissioners so far, 4 counties, and we have 3 more to go. Actually, the commission, do you want me to give a little background about the commission, or you feel pretty well versed?
Sure, no, go ahead, please.
I have some notes just to make sure I don't miss anything. So the Maine Land Use Planning Commission was enacted by the legislature, created by the legislature in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, to serve as the planning and zoning and development review authority for the UT, the unorganized areas of Maine that include most of the plantations and actually at this time some small towns in Maine. The area covers over half the state, approximately 10.4 million acres. And is the largest undeveloped contiguous area in the Northeast. Along with carrying out our responsibilities, we issue permits, our planning and zoning responsibilities, we issue permits for projects ranging from a permit for a house or a small residential dwelling to large ski resort permits in our service area. The commission itself is a 9-member board with 8 of the members appointed by each of the 8 counties with the most land area in the service area, the commission service area, the UT, and currently one of the commissioners is appointed by the governor. There was an LD 870, I think it was, that passed this year that expanded the commission to include 2 additional members. One of those will be a tribal representative from one of the federally recognized tribes in Maine, appointed by the governor, and the second will be appointed by the legislature. So that'll be, we're not sure when that's going to happen, maybe in the fall or.
Yeah, I think the bill takes effect 90 days after adjournment, so we expect we'll know more.
We're led by our executive director, Ben Gotso, right now. The staff has, I think there are 25 positions. Right now we're around 20. We are in the process of hiring some key positions. We've had some turnover this year. So as part of our policy, the statute sets forth some of our policy, but the comprehensive land use plan is the major policy document that guides our work. And in late 2024, the commission voted to initiate an update process. We're phasing this approach, our approach to the update, and we're in what we're calling the pre-process right now. So we're updating it because the original plan, or the last plan, was adopted in 2010. So it's 16 years old now.
a lot has changed since 2010. In 2012, LERC was reformed to the LUPC. There were some statutory changes, some policy changes, so those need to be updated in our comprehensive land use plan, or CLUP. We had a pandemic. Lots has changed. Climate change is more, becoming more impactful now. So there are many reasons for us to update it, and a new plan will help guide us in the next 15 or 20 years. So we're excited about that. Again, we're going to do a phased approach. We're in the pre-process right now. Then the actual update, the formal update process will begin probably sometime next year. And finally, it's about a 1.5 year adoption process that has to go through a lot of steps according to the statute to be adopted officially. So right now we've collected some initial outreach. We've interviewed some key people. We're having informational sessions with the commissioners where we invite topic experts to come and discuss issues and trends related to certain topics. We also are getting ready to release a public survey. Hopefully we'll get a lot of responses to our survey. In the fall, we'll have some public workshops where we'll actually have in different regions of the UT and hear from people in person about their thoughts and what their issues are, and what they'd like to see. And then we also have created a website that has all of the information on it. It's a great website. We have some wonderful young staff people who are very technically experienced and talented. So I encourage you to check out our website. The link to it is on the information sheet that I think is in your packets. And so that's essentially about the club process. I'm happy to answer questions about that, or I can move right into a few quick regulatory updates. Any questions about the club? Great. So recently, the Commission adopted a notice requirement for short-term rentals in the UT in our service area. So if a property owner is operating a short-term rental, they can go onto our website and fill out a very simple free notification form. And the idea there is to collect information and data about where short-term rentals are happening in the service area. The Commission has been considering how to handle short-term rentals along with many municipalities in Maine for the past several years, and this is the direction that they opted to go. So we have some handouts. I can actually leave some here. Some of these here just give some background information, and you can link with your QR code just to go right online and fill out that form. So that was one of the major changes this year. The Commission also adopted some changes to the rules for solar and battery energy storage system facilities. So adopted some definitions and some standards for the development of those facilities in the Commission service area. So we're getting ready to implement that. That was the second of probably a 3-phase process. There'll be another phase with more standards geared towards battery energy storage system facilities.
Does that include charging stations?
No.
No, you're talking about for cars.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's really more grid scale or medium scale, smaller, solar farms or battery storage facilities that might connect to the grid. So.
Yeah.
Right. So last year, the Commission adopted another notice requirement. It was our first one for accessory structures. So the Commission used to issue permits for accessory structures in the early 2000s. One of the ways they tried to reduce the regulatory burden on people and deal with staff capacity was to allow these by notice, like small accessory structures like a shed or a garage. And it turned out that a high percentage of our enforcement issues and violations were related to people they heard they didn't have to have a permit, so they put it wherever they wanted. And so the Commission adopted a notice requirement form, so I'll leave a few of these brochures for you too, because that's a change. As I mentioned, we are in the process of hiring some key positions, so we do anticipate permitting to take a little longer this summer than normal, but we hope to be fully staffed in the next few months and back up to full capacity by the fall. So I don't know, Ben, do you want to add anything?
No, I can't think of anything unless there are specific questions, things you're curious about related to what Stacy covered or other stuff.
Well, I'd just like to add something. The commissioners are aware that you partnered with Kennebec Valley Council of Governments to help fund a regional code enforcement program. And I understand that the LUBC has partnered with KV-COG to use that individual as a third-party inspector. So to your point about staffing up for permitting and so forth, they're using that program to the benefit of the folks in the UT.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. It's a way to augment the few staff members that we have, given the large area the legislature wants us to cover. And they can't. That person can't enforce the commission's rules, but they can do things like site inspections and help the
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, conduit for information.
Mm-hmm. We're hoping that's a pilot that's successful that we can replicate in with other regional councils across the state who are also trying to hire regional code enforcement officers because of the issues in keeping and retaining those positions. So thank you for bringing that up. We are very excited about that.
The only other thing I've mentioned to be aware of is we know that Highland Plantation has started the process of reorganizing. And so these folks, LUPC, will be a partner with you as you walk through that 2-year process. They already serve Highland.
Highland petitioned the commission to return to its service area last April, about a year ago. They were formerly all plantations were originally in the LEPC service area, and in 2016, they petitioned to withdraw and take over local land use authority, so they adopted a comprehensive plan and a land use ordinance. But last year, they petitioned the commission to return because of capacity issues, local capacity issues, and the commission actually went through that process and did officially accept their petition, and we have adopted a zoning map. So we're already serving as the zoning and planning and permitting authority there. So we probably won't be much involved with the deorganization since our piece of that puzzle has already been implemented.
That's good information, and you already serve Dennistown.
We already serve Dennistown.
So the word on the street is Dennistown is heading towards deorganization, although it's not official yet. So that involves Dave, obviously, and it involves commissioners that serve those UTs, especially in looking at the plan and how it impacts us. Roads and bridges is the biggest part of the UT budget in one town disorganized.
Brighton Plantation is also in Somerset County, isn't it?
Sure is.
So similarly, they had adopted local control back in the late 90s, but hadn't updated their comprehensive plan or land use ordinance since then. So a few years ago, we were speaking with them because they were formerly in our service area. We stay in touch, and they actually have gone through a process to update their plan and ordinance. So they're definitely firmly in the local autonomy camp. And,
Retain local.
yeah, they wanted to retain local control there. So.
Good.
Any concerns or questions about the Planning Commission or our activities or the UT in general?
Well, it seems like where the rubber sort of hits the road is the permitting process for landowners in the unorganized territories to get permits to build either expensive homes on the lakes or just update their primitive camp in the middle of nowhere. Is there, relative to other areas not in the UT, is there a perceptible time difference in turnover as far as getting permits? They go out pretty quickly? Is there frustration with the public on delay? I just have no idea. Just curious.
I would say it's a mixed bag. I would say in some cases the permits are issued within 10 days to 2 weeks, pretty quickly. In other cases, depending on the location and whether or not there are special resource considerations or title right and interest considerations, it can be longer. And we are short-staffed right now, so the assignments have been kind of divvied up across the region, across the regions, across the state. So staff might not be as familiar with a region that they're issuing a permit in, so might take a little longer for them to investigate.
I can we have an annual report every year that's on the website, and you can see we track processing times, and so you can see them, and you can track them over time if you want to. I think this year 75% of building permits were issued within a week, or just over a week. So there's kind of variability between in that data for sure, and some took a lot longer than that. But we do our best, and that's also the majority of the commission's permitting load is building permits, which are the less complex permit types. Where we did see an increase was with the more complex permit types, which are for commercial development, rezoning. Sometimes we have a role in a site law permit that's granted by the DEP. It's called a site law certification, and that's a much more complex process. So those types of permits are taking longer, and that's partly because of staff turnover we've seen. And sometimes we have a lot of newer staff that are processing permits, and it can take time to feel comfortable applying the commission's rules in those more complex sorts of scenarios. And so the result has been this bump, I think, in recent years for development permits and more complex permit types.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. Appreciate you coming by. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Oh, yeah.
Our second workshop is to open bids for two 2026 Tahoe Police Package Patrol Units. This is from Height Chevrolet GMC Skowhegan. Two Tahoes for a total of $117,668.
Did it have a trade-in on it too?
It did not have a trade-in.
No, we didn't ask for a trade on those because we're kind of leaving that up to the chief's discretion.
We don't have the vehicle. There will be a trade-in, but we don't have the vehicle identified.
So that's that one. And this is from Wild Rose Chevrolet.
You probably all drove by it. It's in Shenandoah, Iowa.
Oh,
That's where this is from?
Yes.
Not like row 4 here?
No. Rose. Wild
yeah,
Rose.
Shenandoah, Iowa.
I see.
Wild Rose Chevrolet.
You asked for more bids. So,
There we go.
Hill bid.
Look at that. Hill and Dale, for sure. So this is for the two of them, $107,980. And excuse me? It's for both of them. That's just what I'm looking at, to see if that includes the delivery.
You could drive one back, Don.
I don't know if it is delivered. That's height from there. This is one rows. Our instructions. It doesn't say that it won't be delivered.
So if I'm understanding what you read, there's about a $9,000 or $10,000 difference.
About $10,000 difference.
Okay. It's completely up to you. There is a resolution to accept the bid on the agenda today. You can pass over that if you'd like, move it to the next meeting, allow the chief to review these documents.
That's what I was going to suggest, to determine whether there was a surcharge for delivery regarding Wild Rose.
Right.
Before we jumped in, accepted and then everybody's surprised that there's
Right.
an extra fee that was overlooked.
I'll charge you 6,000. Go get it.
Yeah, road trip.
Still stays.
You need two of you, unless you're gonna drive.
I'll bring my wife.
Road trip.
Where's this again? Indiana?
Iowa.
What's that?
I've never been to Iowa.
I can only assume.
I've been through last night.
I know so
I think we landed there once.
have some sort of
In and out.
that they see it posted on our website. Yeah. So I think we had one last time from New Jersey. So
We'll go to Iowa.
Well, because we've said before, it'd have to be a pretty good, I mean, $10,000 is a good reason, but we'd be jumping ship on our local dealer with local maintenance and local this and that, so. Be good to find out as much as we can before making the final call.
What's that? What is that? Okay, so moving on to our third workshop, the draft update to the employee handbook.
you have a hard copy here. And believe it or not, it's almost 2 years old since we painstakingly updated it in my first couple of months here. This is really just a technical update that I wanted to get before you, take home, do your light reading, and perhaps bring back any questions you may have at the next meeting. The main updates to this involves changes in state and federal law, and also some of the technical changes, because in the old or the current policy, we name the Maine Municipal Health Trust as our provider, so we had to remove those names and so forth. So, but again, moving forward at the next meeting, I'll be glad to take any additional questions.
Are the changes highlighted with different color ink or anything?
You'll have to find them. They're very, very good.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get it before you, in case you didn't have a current. And if there are some policy decisions you'd like to change regarding the handbook, maybe we should look at that at this time as well at the next meeting. That's all. I just wanted to introduce it.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions regarding the employee handbook? Okay. New agenda items, commissioners only? Seeing none. Administrators report.
Well, as you can see, it's beautiful in Tennessee. That's where I was this weekend. For my daughter's wedding, and we had a wonderful time down there. As Commissioner Cushing mentioned, I spent quite a bit of time the last couple of weeks lobbying Augusta for jail funding. I'm going to be on a panel discussion in August at the Maine Town and City Managers Association's workshop, and we're going to be talking about tax increment financing and TIFs and so forth. And matching grants, our community benefit matching grant program kicks back in. Applications are due by May the 8th, and so May the 20th, at your May 20th meeting, there'll be your first look at some of the matching grant applications that will be coming in. That's about all I've got.
How about the SAPI update that you mentioned in your report?
Really, yeah. I believe Commissioner Stickis and Commissioner Skilling were both there when a couple of folks from SAPI presented to the SED board. Really no change. And I received an email that I was thinking about forwarding to you, but I think it includes everything you've already seen. It still works. They're waiting. SAPI doesn't feel that the TLC has come up with a legitimate solution to their water issues. And so, but there's talks are still going on.
After you meet the reps in Waterville, the Mid-Maine Chamber had sponsored. The TNC was there along with SAPI. They gave a presentation, and the TNC was forthcoming that they had developed a solution yet, but they're still working on it. And what most people would like to see is a natural fishway. And it's going to just be a matter of how the feds and the state cooperate with that. So we shall see. A work in progress.
Yes.
Patrick, finance.
Finance. Nothing really new, no major changes, which is good. Still tracking in the right direction. The only thing that I think I mentioned last time was we still haven't received any of the EMA funding yet from the federal government. We're running a negative balance in that department. Other than that, everything else is fine.
And also on the note of finance, the Budget Committee's public hearing will be May 8th at 6, May 8th?
May 4th.
May 4th. May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you,
Yeah.
yes.
6 p.m. Monday, May 4th.
6 p.m. Monday.
And unlike the previous meetings, we got to be there because we got to vote on the budget.
Yes.
Yes. At least 3 of you.
Yeah.
At least 3 of you.
And I'd just like to thank Patrick and all the department heads, the sheriff, everyone that put all that together. And I think it was 2 meetings full of lots of questions, but at the end of the day, they passed the budget as presented. And so it was good work by you.
I'll try not to be late. I will be in Holton that day. Holton. So. Okay. Dave.
UT is kind of transitioning from winter maintenance on roads to spring maintenance, putting the plows away and bringing out the graders, grading all our gravel roads, getting rid of whatever potholes and frost heaves remain from the winter. Otherwise than that, things are still fairly quiet. I went out in the hall to check with those folks on a project in Rockwood. If you're familiar with Rockwood, there's a place there called Maynards of Maine. It's been around for 100+ years. It's a kind of a sporting lodge. They want to have an RV park out behind the existing lodge, and it needs to be rezoned. It was rezoned improperly when Lurk was first came into existence in the 70s. It was miszoned, so they now have to rezone, correct the error made previously, before they can then move forward with their process to put in the RV park. So they're looking at the first step. They're having a public hearing in a couple of weeks, and I plan on attending it. First they have a site visit, then they have a meeting in Greenville for people to come and speak on it. The problem with that is the road going into it, Maynard's is just a residential road. A lot of camps close to the road, so there's going to be some impact due to the traffic that comes in to use the RV park. But, it's a process, so that's one of the big items that's going on in the UT this year.
Is that our road?
Yeah, it is a county road. Yeah, I was originally concerned with the amount of traffic and the weight, but we have repaved the road recently, so it will probably hold up the weight. Campers and RVs don't weigh that much. We've had some construction go across that road, limited it to summer, fall, and winter. We didn't let them use it in the spring. It held up to the heavy dump trucks and things like that pretty well. But I think the residents along the stretch before you get to Maynard's, they won't be happy with the additional traffic. But I don't think from the county standpoint, we'll try to stop or change anything.
It's wide enough to take two RVs at the same time.
Yeah, the speed on the road is only 25 is the speed limit. So, there's room for them to get by. It's, I wouldn't want them to try and do it at 50 miles an hour, but at 25, they can pass each other.
25 easily becomes 35.
Only on places on this road. As I said, the buildings are close, and when your building is close to a road, people normally slow down. They feel that way. If you got wide open fields on both sides and go 25, that doesn't happen.
Any other questions for Dave? Sarah?
We're busy. Unless you have a specific question, could work through the budget. Moving forward.
No, good job with the budget.
Thank you.
Okay. No, didn't miss anybody? No?
Nope, I got it.
Patrick wants to, well, you wanted to speak again.
Leanne
never.
I'm good.
Never. She's always working.
I'm
Tolerant.
I don't even know. I'm not good with directions. You might get it.
Really long road.
Jim, did you get my link about Knox County's HR?
I saw the link, but I'm not able to read Bangor Daily Stories online, so.
Oh, okay.
I didn't read it.
Okay, well, moving along then. New business. Resolution 2658 to award a bid for two 2026 Chevy Tahoes in use for the Somerset County Sheriff's Office. Request to table to the next meeting.
Waiting more information?
Yeah.
Move.
All in favor? Good. Resolution 2659 to approve Commissioner's mileage reimbursement for the third Q3.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? And a resolution 2660 to approve the hire of Linda Fortin as a corrections officer at the Somerset County Jail.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Good. We have already taken up resolution 2661, and we are on warrants resolution 2662 to approve the treasurer's warrant for general fund, Somerset County Jail, and unorganized territories for a total amount of $318,945.66.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? We go. Miscellaneous discussion items, commissioners only? Nothing? Okay. At this point, we will go into executive session. Title 1, Section 4056A, Personnel Jail. We will have to turn off the Zoom because of its openness to the public.
Can I call me a phone? Or phone someone at the Tim, you want to,
Oh, I know.
how many,